Hey guys, really excited about sharing this video with you today. What you see here is the results of the best military pick I've ever had. You know, I go out antique stores, flea markets, all over the place picking, looking for new things to add to my collection. And this by far was the greatest haul that I've gotten all at once, at one time. This was an amazing pick, amazing day. I had a great time. And how all this came to be was I went to an antique store last Friday, and the man had told me he had, went on a pick to a guy who had some military stuff, and he had bought 6 helmets, which 5 of them were foreign, and I'm mostly trying to focus on American. And so he had one American helmet. I ended up getting it, which that helmet's not in this video. Originally, I was going to do a new helmets video to my collection, which is basically what most of this is here. Obviously, I've got a canteen over here I'll share with you, but believe it or not, on top of all these you see here, I still have, I think, about 5 or 6 other helmets that I'm going to make a separate video on, which you see I'm out of table room anyways. But so the man at the antique store, I've bought a lot of stuff from him over the years, and he gave me the lead. And I called the man, and he invited me out to his place. Now, he lives right at an hour and a half from here, so I drove a 3-hour round trip to visit with this man, and it was just awesome. I walked in here, I met him and everything, and kind of let him warm up to me, kind of build a little bit of a relationship and everything, And he took me into the building, and he had an old pool table, and it was full of helmets and stuff. There was probably 40-something, 50 helmets on there, liners and different other things. And he had other tables set up with different, field gear and accessories and stuff. But we got talking and everything, and like I said, I ended up coming home with all of this, and I got a great deal on all of it, and I want to share that with you. You see, that's all helmets, and I got 3 liners here, which we did 3 separate deals. The first one, believe it or not, there was a stack of 10 helmets that were completely stuck together. It was a stack, and I tried and he tried to separate them. We couldn't do it. And I noticed that 3 of them had front seams, so I knew at least 3 of the helmets were going to be World War II. And so I went ahead, and, I was like, well, what would you want for the whole stack? And he said, well, normally I would get $20, $25 a piece for them, but since they're stuck together and there's a chance that you can't get them unstuck, he said, how about $100 for the stack of 10? And, I was, whenever I get excited about something, I don't show it on the outside. I control myself because, it's best to do that instead of get really excited in front of the seller, and then they might rethink of their price they quoted you or whatever. So try to keep your excitement on the inside and celebrate later when you're by yourself. But so I bought the first 10 helmets for $100. Like I said, it's $10 a piece. And the results of that were this back row right here. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 helmets are all Vietnam era. There's 1 Ingersoll and 4 Parrish. And then I also got these 2 right here. These are McCords. They're Korean War era, model 1951-52. So that's 6. And then I also got these World War II shells. I got, I'm sorry, that's 7. 5 and 2, 7. I can't count today. And then I got 1, 2, 3. These 3 are World War II. I was hoping for more of them to be World War II and everything, but, it's all good. I'm not really going to take the time to share the Vietnam and Korean ones with you, but I wanted to share the World War II ones. All 3 of them are McCords. They're all 3 front seam, and believe it or not, all 3 of them originally would have been fixed bell, but they're swivel bell. This one's got what looks like Osmond, North Dakota, maybe. I'm not sure. I haven't tried to research if that's a city, if that exists or not. Maybe one of you guys will know. But you can see it's got a front seam, and I'm really excited about this one. I'm going to try to get it to pull up with this flashlight. I'm always trying to focus so y'all can see what I see, but it doesn't always work out that way. But anyways, this heat stamp, I don't know if it's going to work out or not, but it's 29B, and then there's a 3 out to the side. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but 29B, and there's a 3 out to the side. But anyways, so that would date this helmet to, you know, it's kind of hard to tell, somewhere around maybe December 1941 or right at the beginning of January 42. I'm really not sure. I would lean more towards December 41, but like I said, it could be very, very early 42, maybe within the first couple weeks or so, 42. I'm not sure. It's kind of hard going by the chart, you know, with the earlier heat stamps. But so I got that, and then this one here, this one's really cool. You can actually kind of see it a little bit better than the other one. You see right there, I'm sure you can see there's an 8C right there. 8C, but you know, there you go. So there's actually a faint 8 in front of the first 8, so it's actually 88C right there, which would date this helmet to somewhere around February or March of 1942. Like I said, it's front seam, swivel bell, originally fixed bell. And the third one in that stack of 10 was this one here. Now this is a little bit later helmet. This one, the heat stamp is, let me see if I can show you. It's right in here. It's a 614B. But I'm sorry, the flashlights, I don't think it's helping much. It will focus some. I don't think it's going to. Believe it or not, I'm wanting to invest in an actual camera so I don't always have to make my videos on my phone. But there you go, 614B. Now that would date this helmet to right around August of 1943. So it's actually kind of mid-war right there. Like I said, it's front seam and it's a swivel bell. This one would have been a fixed bell also, because somewhere around the late 700s, as far as the heat stamp, you know, 760, 780, somewhere in that range, just before 800 was right around the time of when they went from fixed bell to swivel bell, which, you know, they, a lot of them were intentionally changed from fixed bell to swivel bell, you know, they were modified. But so those 10 helmets, like I said, the 5 Vietnam, 2 Korean, 3 World War II, came out to $10 a piece, which is a steal. But I'm probably going to end up selling the 5 Vietnam, because with all this you see here, the other helmets I'm going to make another video on, I think I've got like 86 or 87 helmets. If I had every helmet I've ever owned, I'm sorry, I would have like 93 or 94. But so after a while, you know, you got to start parting with some stuff, and I'm trying to get more picky about what I buy and keep for my collection. But so that was a good deal, $10 on that. Then the second deal I made with the man was I got 3 helmet liners, and you know, I gave him what he wanted for the first deal, and I asked him, I said, well, what would you want for the 3 helmet liners? And he said, well, what would you offer me? And, you know, I kind of was thinking, I was like, well, I said, what about $100 for the 3 helmet liners? And very quickly, he's like, yeah, we'll do that. I'll take 100 for that. So evidently, he had a number in mind, and I exceeded that number. He might have thought I would have offered maybe 50 or 60 bucks. I offered him 100, you know, and he was very glad to get that. Like I said, evidently I gave him more than he was expecting to get. But let me share these with you. It's going to be kind of a long video, but you definitely stay tuned to watch the whole thing, because it's going to be a good one. They're all 3 World War II liners. This one here is a Westinghouse. The inside's not too terribly bad, a little worn out. It's got a 54-something-8 right there, part of a laundry number. And right here, somebody with tape put Corporal McRow with tape. They taped all over the thing. And there's actually, underneath, there's an MP right there. And there's also a corporal rank under here, and some other little weird markings and stuff. And then on the back side, see, there's a follow me stripe underneath the tape. I might one day remove this crazy tape going around it and, you know, make it look better, just to reveal what's underneath, but I got to find time for that. So that was a nice Westinghouse. This right here is a Firestone, which I'm going to use some wet wipes. That's what I use to kind of get the loose dirt and dust and stuff out of these things, and kind of might go over the outside a little bit, but I won't clean them at all, you know, as far as with the actual cleaner. This is a nice Firestone here. The inside looks really good for the most part. The outside here, I'm not sure what that was. Somebody's gone over it with a magic marker or Sharpie, but see, they got a cross right there with dots all around it. And also on the top here, they've got what's left of the cross, you know, some of it's worn off, and then the dots around it. So I don't know if this was a chaplain helmet or just a soldier that was religious, you know, or what, but I thought that was really cool. And it's got this weird setup here with some kind of a makeshift chin strap. Look at these weird buckles. I don't know if it's like a field modification or just something random they wanted to do. Looks like some kind of a shoelace or some kind of a tie there. I'm not sure what that is, but still really neat. But the best thing I picked up all day long was take a look at this liner, which going from this angle doesn't look like anything special. But look at this. 11th Airborne. It's got the decal on the left side and the right side. And most of it's still there too. It looks great. Here's the other side here. Look at that. 11th Airborne. That is awesome. Really, really cool. And it's got this tape here on the front, which I'm guessing it probably had the soldier's name. Maybe it peeled off, I'm not sure, but really good find. There's nothing on the back of it, but I just love that 11th Airborne. And take a look at the inside. Overall, the inside is in pretty good condition. I mean, the A-washers are kind of corroded and stuff, but there's a little tear right there on the left by near my thumb. But this is an M1C helmet liner. And take a look at this. It's got the cast buckles, which is really cool on both sides. This is a really good find, you know, really hard to find. Probably might as well say rare. This is a Westinghouse liner also. And in the crown back up in there, you can see it's got a SV. I'm guessing maybe the soldier's initials. I'm not sure. But really good find on this. This is definitely a several $100 liner. And basically, like I said, I got all three liners for $100, so that's $33 a piece. So this is by far probably the most expensive or valuable liner I have in my entire collection, and I got it for $33. Really excited about that. And the third deal I got, see, I got this M1 helmet here, Canteen, World War I helmet, World War II helmet. And the third deal and last deal I made with the man was I had these together. Excuse me. And I asked the man, I said, well, what would you want for these three helmets, Canteen? He said, how about $110? And this helmet right here, I wasn't really fond of it because it's been like repainted and corked and it just looks like crap to me. So I actually took this out of the pile and I said, what about these two helmets and this Canteen? And he said, well, what would you offer me? And I told him, I said, well, what about $80? And he said, yeah. He said, I can do that. And he said, I tell you what, go ahead and just put that other helmet back on your pile and take all three helmets and the Canteen for $80. And I was like, you know, are you sure? You know, I'm okay with leaving it. And he said, no, son. He said, I've enjoyed your time and everything, you know, and I'd like for you to have it. So I got these three helmets and Canteen for $80, which comes out $20 a piece, 20 each helmet, 20 for the Canteen. And I'm really glad I decided to get this helmet here, even though I don't really care for the finish on the outside. This is a front seam swivel bell, originally fixed bell. This turned out to be a World War II helmet, which, I mean, at first I didn't spot the front seam, and I did some paint removal, and I know it's hard to see in there, but it's 123A, and then it's got an S right down here, which means it's a Schluter helmet, which is awesome. This makes number 5 I have. You know, the Schluters, they made about $2 million in World War II. McCord around $20 million. So these are definitely more uncommon and desirable. I just didn't care for the finish, but I'm glad I ended up picking it up. So this would date to somewhere around mid, maybe late, you know, 1943. Maybe, I don't know, I'm just guessing, maybe, you know, July, August, September, something like that. I haven't really researched it that much. That was a good deal, $20. I got this helmet here, which is World War II British, and it's actually dated. Let me find it right here. Which, again, my lighting's not the best. But anyways, it's dated 1939. Let me see where it is, right here. I don't know if you can see that or not. There you go. 1939 right there. Just awesome helmet. The chin strap and everything's awesome. The finish on the outside is awesome. 1939. This would be a Mark II Brodie helmet, British Brodie helmet. So that is really awesome. It's overall in good shape. A little wear on the outside, but that's cool. So I got that $20. And then I got this right here. This is an awesome model 1917 World War I American Doughboy helmet. And the outside is actually looks really good to me. I like the way it looks. You know, it's pretty good. No decals or anything, unfortunately. And look at the inside. This is the first one I have with almost a complete liner, which that does have the chin strap. It's dry rotted and it has broken, but got to be careful with these liners. You don't want to stir them up too much, and definitely don't want to get close to them and breathe them in, because they do have asbestos in there, so you got to be careful with those particles and stuff. But this one is ZD199. It's actually up here. I use a magnifying glass and LED flashlight with a lot of this stuff. But so this helmet more than likely is 1917. It could be 1918, but I believe it's going to be 1917 right there. It's 20 bucks. And lastly, I know this is a long video, but for those of you that are still with me, I appreciate it a lot. I really do. I'm really excited and glad to be able to share this with you. I got this canteen here for 20 bucks also. Came with this cover. The US is on there. It's kind of hard to see. It's also got some markings down here, probably the date and maker, but it's just too far gone. But nice World War II cover there. It's the khaki color OD3. And the canteen is the awesome thing. Look at this. This is a blue, almost black enamel canteen. They didn't make these very long. I think they made a few thousand or maybe several thousand, but these were done away with because the enamel would chip and get in the water. And they would, you know, I guess be ingested or whatever. And so these are very hard to find. You can find them on eBay, but they do go for a lot of money. See, it's made by Volrath right there, 1942. Gave 20 bucks for this. So really good to have been able to pick that up. 20 bucks. I could probably easily get 40 or 50 for this here if I had the cup, several $100s. I saw one just sold for $385 with the cup. But anyways, that was a good deal for this. That's probably my most valuable canteen now. So I got my most valuable helmet liner and canteen. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the subscriptions, like, comments, and shares and everything. See a lot of helmets and a lot of everything else here. I ended up with 14 helmets, 3 liners in the canteen, and my grand total was $280 for everything. I had a great time with the man, and I'm actually going to go back a second time. He does have some other stuff left, mostly foreign, but I'm going to go pick him one more time. But really, like I said, this 11th Airborne liner here, this by far, if I was to sell this, I could get all of my $280 back and then some. This thing would sell for, who knows, $400 or $500. Somebody really wanted it, but you know, people go crazy on eBay. They might go for higher than that, but really good find right there. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I got a lot more videos on the way. Thank you so much.